Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the pod. I've recorded multiple podcasts today, and I'm just ripping them. I'm ripping out July podcasts on this Friday, and I'm super proud of myself. This is going to be the last one I record today, but I'm excited to get into this topic because I think it's going to be helpful. I think it's going to be enlightening, and I think it's going to make you think. And today I'm going to talk about what if it's not actually your injury anymore that's the problem, but it's the compensations that you've developed because of your injury. And here's what I mean. I'm going to explain it. So, let's say you injured your back a couple of years ago, okay? You injured your back and it was really bad for a few weeks, but you rested it and then it basically felt better and you just went back to doing what you were doing. But because of this injury, you started moving differently, not just in the way that you were walking, but in the way that you were working out. You might have stopped doing any hinge movements, so no deadlift, nothing where you're bending over because it made you nervous. So then you just started squatting all the time. And you're like, oh, my bad back. I can't handle hinging anymore. And so you stop doing that. You basically are very careful with your back, right? You are careful to not really round your back very much. And so basically you're just babying your back all the time. And all right, could be fine for a while. But eventually you might get to a point where you re-injure your back, or your back just kind of starts aching again. It's not as bad as your initial injury, but it is enough to start bothering you more than it ever has before. And you're like, what's going on? Why is my back hurting again? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. Here's the problem. You developed a lot of compensations because of the initial back injury that you dealt with. And you started babying your back. And you didn't strengthen your back. You actually just made it weaker. And so your back is a lot more sensitive to just your daily life. And so just because you might not have bending over in your workouts anymore, you probably need to bend over in your regular life, if I'm guessing, especially if you're like a mom or, just like an active human in general. You do need strength to bend over. And what if you're picking up your toddler off the ground and you kind of round your back when you do this, but you never train rounding your back, and so it irritates your back when you do that. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down at this point, but basically when we have an injury, we develop compensations, we naturally start to get into that movement avoidance thing, and eventually this can tend to bite us in the butt because our life involves these patterns. And if we are not getting, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this very clearly, but any position that we don't train in the gym and our life calls for it, we're going to be weak in that position if we're not training it. And And this is one of the most common mistakes that I see people make, is that they're just avoiding these movements in the gym. They're avoiding bending over because of XYZ injury or whatever. But in their life, they need to be able to move in that way. Our life calls for us to move in certain ways if we're an active human. And if we want to be able to remain active in our life, our body needs to be exposed to those positions so we don't hurt ourselves. And so if you are feeling called out right now, it's okay. And this is all like very normal, but you do need to start addressing these things if you don't want to be dealing with this back pain hanging out for years to come. Because if your back pain is due to, some of the things I mentioned, movement avoidance, weakness, compensations, like, it's not going to go away. It's 100% fixable, but it will not just go away magically just because you're ignoring it. It will continue to probably get worse if you don't address it. So one way or the other, you're going to be addressing this. And I encourage you to get the support that you need to just fix it, to just fix this issue so that you can move on with your life and feel better and not be the person who's like, I've been in back pain for as long as I can remember. Because I know that you want to live a full and active life without having to worry about your back. Or it doesn't even have to be your back. Insert whatever pain you're dealing with here. You deserve better than that. So if you are feeling called out right now, like I said, it's okay, but I do encourage you to make a move and start addressing this so that you can move in the right direction instead of staying stuck or potentially getting worse. And it is end of July when you're hearing this right now. It is going to be the end of the year before we know it. And if you start making changes now, if you get help now, you're going to be in a much better spot by the end of the year if you just start now. So I'm encouraging you, if you feel called out by this, to make your move so that you can be in a much better spot by the end of the year. And I have links in the show notes for either getting a free injury audit from me or getting a full assessment from me. And I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram, shoot me an email, let's connect. I would love to help you. But if I cannot help you or you don't vibe with me, I will connect you with another coach who you might vibe with a little bit better. I just care about you getting the help that you need, living a better life, being happier, and able to do whatever the heck you want to do, whatever activity you want to do without pain. All right. Thanks for listening. I will talk to you in the next episode.